Hi-oh YouTube, my name is Dexter and welcome to this Friday special edition review session of Warframe, a game that I've had for about 2-3 years now. I think like very most 3 years. I've been playing Warframe for at the very most 3 years. It's not been a consistent 3 years, but it's been 3 years roughly. I have around 1,000 hours clocked in on this game across those 3 years, and I can honestly say it's one of the most fun and complex, but like rewardingly complex games that I've ever played. I got into it at, one of my friends asked me to play it with him like 2 years ago, I think it was like late 2014, when he first asked me to play it with him. Wait, no, I started on its second anniversary. I started after its second, I started on the year of its second anniversary, so I've been playing since 2015, because it came out in 2014. I've been playing since, like, early 2015, or at least that's when I started, but I didn't stay with it, because it was like, at the time, I likened it to Monster Hunter, but without the instant gratification, but I dropped it for a while, and I came back to it, like, mid-2016, after the big star map update. Or no, I got back into it at early 2016, and then dropped it again after, like, 3 or 4 months, and then got back into it after the big star map update, which was June of 2016, and I've been playing almost daily since. It's absolutely fantastic game, and I highly recommend it, but only if you are a fan of grinding. If you do not like grinding in MMOs, this is not the game for you. Drop it and leave it alone. Never pick it up in the first place if you really don't like grinding, because that's what this game is. It's a giant grind fest. And that's my biggest complaint with it. Like, it is a giant grind fest. But I thoroughly enjoy this game. It's a lot of fun. It's just really, really solid. It's come a long way in the very short time that it's been available. Like, the best description I heard of it is the team that made Warframe, called Digital Extremes, or the developer for Digital Extremes, the Warframe dev team is like 170 members strong, I think? And they've done more in like 3 years to improve the quality of their game than like League of Legends has in 9 years. I don't know how long League of Legends has been out for. I just know it's been a long ass time. But Warframe, like, I don't mean to say that League of Legends is a bad game, and that's not what I'm trying to imply. I'm saying that Warframe or the dev team for Warframe have done more to keep Warframe fun than League of Legends has. But I don't play League of Legends, so I can't really give you a solid description. But I'm gonna shut up about that now. That's enough of my backstory. I'll go over the actual story, or my backstory with this game. I'll go over the actual story of this game. It's pretty convoluted and very involved, but I'll just hit the base points. All you really need to know is that you play as a Tenno in an intergalactic war. Tennos are basically just space ninjas that pilot these Warframes, which is what this thing is. Golden Triangle Cage Head Man here is not a man, it's a lady. Golden Triangle Cage Lady here is a Warframe, and one of my favorites. But there's an interplanetary war being waged between 3 distinct factions. The Clone Army of the Grineer is the first one, and they're all about subjugating everything. Like, if you're not Grineer, they want you to be subjugated. They want to subjugate you. They even want to subjugate you if you are Grineer. The next one is the money-powered business empire known as the Corpus. They want to keep as many wars going for as long as possible because they are war profiteers. That is what they do. And the last one is an undead horde called the Infested, and they just want to eat everybody. They just want everybody to die so they can eat them and be like, hey, you're an Infested now. Congratulations. Join us. You're now part of us. Hey, that's great. But the excuse me. The Tenno are led by a quite motherly figure, is the word, like, very stern but very motherly figure known as the Lotus, known only as the Lotus. And as a Tenno, you are able to control the Warframes, and you are the only group that can do so. The Tenno are the only group that can control the Warframe. The Grineer and the Corpus want to basically capture as many Tenno as possible to try and figure out how exactly the Warframe works so they can replicate it and just subjugate everything better. They're after your tech, essentially. And that's basically that's the gist of the entire game. Everybody wants your tech because it'll help them kill everybody else. But you basically, as a Tenno, just run a guerrilla warfare campaign against the other two major empires and try to beat down the infested wherever they might show up. And that's the story. That's the story. You're a guerrilla strike team against two galactic empires, and it's fantastic. Because the gameplay is what really makes this game. Where I am currently is a simulation area called the Simulacrum, and it's not mandatory to get, but it is very useful. It's not mandatory, but it is useful. In the Simulacrum, you can summon any enemy that you've scanned completely into your codex, and I have scanned a ton. You don't really need to know what they all are. You just okay. That's I made it to here. I have a lot. Oh no! Oh, there is more. Never mind. Oh well, look at all that. Look at it all. Look at it all. All of these things I can summon in. But essentially, yeah, the Simulacrum, it just lets you test things, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm testing, well, not testing, I'm using this as like a really easy way to explain what I'm going to be talking about. But, like I said, the gameplay of this game is where it really shines. It combines really, like, solid gunplay with a lot of, like, melee support. Like, it supports melee weapons just as much as it would support gunplay, and as well as caster, like magic gameplay. Like, if you imagine the Warframes are just space magician ninjas, because that's basically what they are. But it combines three distinct styles of play, and it all just meshes together really, really well. In this setting, it's an action, like, Warframe is an action-based RPG with with a lot of focus on high mobility. I'll just summon up some enemies. I'll just summon up these heavy gunners. I'm just gonna summon up 20 of them, just to show off basically what I'm doing. They're at level 50. They're pretty durable. They're pretty strong. But oh no, I don't have their AI disabled. Whoops. Whoops. They're firing at me. Pause AI. There we go. I don't want to get shot by the gunners. They will kill me. But it blends gunplay, melee. I don't know what else to call it. Melee strikes and magic in a really, really solid package. Like, the guns I'm using right now are all pretty boring. The Vasto Prime and the Soma Prime are prime weapons. You can't get them anymore, but you don't really need them. I'll talk about primes later, but basically, just you shoot people in the face, you kill them. It's great. Different races have different, like, defenses that they employ on all of their units. The Grineer have quite possibly the most annoying defense, called armor, and it's the reason their health bars are yellow instead of red or blue. If the target's health bar is yellow, it means they take reduced damage. It's armor, and that's how the Grineers survive. They just stack so much armor on their high-level enemies that they basically just don't take damage. Like, so that's like 700 damage a shot. The reason the numbers are yellow sometimes and white others is because of the Soma Prime is very much a crit-based weapon. Yellow numbers means you've landed a crit. Orange numbers are essentially what I'll call a double crit. The way it works is they changed it a while ago, but white numbers are just flat damage. Yellow numbers are if you've landed a critical hit. If your critical hits are up to 100%, you'll deal a yellow crit. If your crit chance is above 100%, you'll deal yellow crits normally. Like, your basic fire becomes yellow crits, or your basic attacks become yellow crits. But if you're above 100%, you'll also get orange crits, which if you land, basically it's a double crit. And then red crits are above red crits happen if you're above 200%, which isn't that important. It's a little involved, but all you need to know is that the darker your number values are that you see when you hit an enemy, the more damage you're doing. And that's the takeaway. The darker the color, the more damage you're dealing. But the Soma Prime isn't really a great display of how the gunplay in this game works, because it's pretty boring. It's just point and click. It's a light machine gun. It's point and click. You gun people down. It's great. It's a good gun. Don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic weapon, but it's very, very boring. Unlike the Vasto, which is an old style 6-shooter. I don't know the best angle to give you, but that's the Vasto. The Vasto is one of my favorite guns in this game, and it sounds like this. It is gorgeous. I could listen to that all day. I could listen to this all day. It is an old style 6-shooter, and it's fucking fantastic. It's one of my favorite sidearm in this entire game. And it's not just like oh, slow fire. I'm just doing that to get as many shots out as possible, or like to get as much damage out as possible. But if I wanted to, you can basically fan the hammer with it. If you upgrade its attack or fire speed, you can basically just fan the hammer like McCree does in Overwatch, and it's fantastic. Unfortunately, against armored targets, slash damage like my Vasto and my Soma don't really do a lot against armor. Also, this battle axe on my back isn't just for show. This is another weapon that I am a big fan of. I don't use it much anymore, but it's called the Sindo Prime, and it does damage. But yeah, a lot of this game is this game is made up. The combat of this game is made up of melee attacks, gunplay, and spells or abilities. Nyx, the Warframe that I'm playing right now is called Nyx Prime, and she excels in crowd control. All of her abilities are designed to crowd control and basically just dominate an area. Like, when Nyx walks into an area, all of those enemies in that area are not screwed or fucked, but they're not gonna be doing what they want to be doing anymore. Like, my primary ability is called Mind Control. You point at a target, you hit the one button, and then they're your friend. I have enough duration on my Mind Control that I can Mind Control a target for up to 65 seconds. The way it works, while they're mind controlled, they will no longer fire at any of my allies. They become another friend for me for another minute, at the very most. Or another minute for my build, at the very least. Something I really enjoy about it, though, is that when a target is mind controlled, none of my allies can deal damage to them. But it doesn't mean shooting them is a waste of time. I'm just gonna empty my Soma clip into this person, and just watch for a moment. All of the damage that I've currently done to them is stored in that purple barrier around them. When that effect ends, either I hit the one button again or we wait 20 seconds. Spoilers, we're not waiting 20 seconds. But once the mind control effect ends, they take all of the damage that they would have from allied sources. So, boom. That's like a million damage. My next ability is called Psychic Bolts. And it just throws out some little bullets. I haven't built Nyx for damage, so it doesn't deal any. Like, I have negative power strength, but you just throw out bullets. You throw out some Psychic Bolts, and they auto-lock on the nearest target. When they hit, they proc a radiation status effect, which is not that important. I'm not going to go over all the statuses. Just know that every gun in this game, every weapon, everything in this game that you can use has a status chance, and the status chance dictates how likely something is to apply a status. There's 3 base elements that every weapon, or most weapons have. There are 3 base damage types. They're not elements, they're damage types that every weapon has. There's slash damage, or impact damage, and puncture damage. And your status chance dictates how often you'll apply one of those effects. Slash damage causes bleeding effects that does a flat amount of damage based on the total weapon damage, or based on the slash damage of your weapon. Impact procs knock people back, and puncture procs lower damage output. Just if anything has a puncture proc, they deal less damage for a while. Then there's 4 elemental mods, or 4 elemental types of damage: fire, cold, lightning, and toxic. And you can combine those 4. You can combine 2 of those 4 to create entirely new elemental effects. Secondary elements is what they call them. And they're all really effective. Radiation is one of them, and all it does is it confuses enemies or allies, because every proc in this game can apply to both a Warframe and an enemy. Radiation procs against enemies make them less accurate and susceptible. Oh, no, just everything. Everything that's irradiated is less accurate and is able to take friendly fire. So if I were to throw some psychic bolts at those people, they're glowing that blue energy. They are now able to take damage, or their allies are able to hurt them. So if their allies were to like hit each other, I mean, that's what they're doing right now, because that's what my third ability does. Chaos. It's a pseudo radiation proc without actually irradiating anybody. But allies or anybody who has a radiation proc will hurt anything nearby them if they hit them. And my last ability is Nyx is Absorb. And normally I wouldn't be able to walk around, and this bubble would be a lot bigger. I can't really show how big it is, but just know that it's normally a lot bigger and I'm not able to move. It's a special mod that I have on Nyx that I'll go over later. I'll go over the mods later. But Absorb for Nyx allows her to do exactly what it sounds like. She absorbs any damage that she would take, and then releases it at the end of the ability in an area. But I don't have any damage on Nyx, so I don't really do a lot in return. But every Warframe in this game has a unique set of abilities and a passive ability. Nyx's abilities are all about crowd control, and her passive is that her abilities may make enemies drop their weapons every once in a while. Yeah, and enemies affected by Nyx Prime's abilities may suddenly lay down their arms. Except for mind control, or even with mind control. But it's not like, oh, I've mind controlled the person, why did you throw away your gun? It's with the effect has to end on the target with mind control. So like, if you mind control someone, say a heavy gunner, like I did earlier, there's a chance at the end of the effect that she'll just throw away her gun. She's just like, oh, I don't need this anymore, and toss it away. Another one of my favorite Warframes is Saren Prime. Saren Prime is just front load damage on everything. Excuse me. Saren Prime is the status-based, or status ailment-based caster tank. She's got a lot going for her. She's very durable for a caster. She has the highest amount of energy in this game, tied with another Prime variant, and just does a ton of damage. She's also pretty durable. But all of her abilities deal damage, and a lot of it. She's able to pump out more damage than most other Warframes. I don't need stretch. I want more power strength. But this is another part of this game that I will go over later. The modding system in this game is very, very robust. It is amazing what you can build different Warframes to do. But just know that Saren is all about front-loading damage. Like, you see this person here? Oh, they're at half health. Now they have giant purple globs on them. That's Saren's first ability. It's called Spores. And if I had the range, it would spread to a lot of people, but I don't. So I'm going to cast it on this person. While those purple globs... Hey, why are you attacking me? Get out of here. While those purple globs are on an enemy, they take damage over time and suffer a viral proc, which lowers maximum health by half for a set amount of time. But I'm just going to put them back on her for a second. I'm going to... Those purple globs, and I'm going to shoot one. Oh, and I missed. I'm going to shoot one. Alright, there we go. Whenever a spore pops, which is what the ability is called, spores, whenever you shoot, or whenever a spore bubble takes damage, it pops and spreads more spore bubbles to everything else around it in a certain area. I don't have much range on my ability, so it doesn't go very far, but it does front load all of its damage, or not front loads, but it does all of its damage to everything in the area, and it's fantastic. Saren is very much a caster frame. Nyx was also a caster frame, but there's a frame for any kind of playstyle you could imagine. If you want a tank, go pick up a Valkyr or a Chroma. If you want to be super sneaky and super lethal, go pick up Ashe or Loki. If you want to be a support frame, you've got the pick of the litter. You can be Trinity, Mag, Equinox, Nova, Oberon, Octavia, Titania, kind of. There's an pretty much infinite amount of characters that you can play to get any kind of playstyle out that you'd want. or yeah, there's a Warframe for you, is where I'll go with this. There's a Warframe for you. Not all Warframes have Prime variants, but you don't need the Prime if you can't get it. All Prime Warframe does is it has slightly, marginally better stats than the... I don't even know if marginally is the word to use. They have slightly better stats than the default frame. Like Saren Prime has 225 armor, 200 energy, 125 health, and 100 shields baseline. Classic Saren has 175 armor and 150 energy. That's the biggest difference. That's the biggest difference. That she just gets more energy and more armor. And that's not really that important. All Prime Warframes do is scale slightly better into the late game. Same with Prime weapons. They have marginally better stats. Like the Soma Prime. I can upgrade, or I could, if I wanted to, I could just go back to the regular Soma. It has less status damage, or less status chance, the same crit chance, but half the ammo and a little bit less damage. But you don't really need the Prime variant unless you're really fixing for it. They really only scale... It just helps with scaling in, like, endless missions. They're really not that important. But that's basically just everything you need to know. Each frame has an intended use, but you can build them for anything. They have an intended use in mind, but you can build them to do whatever you want, which I'll go over later. And each weapon, again, also has an intended use, but you can build it for whatever you want. So, if you want to build a status-based version of the Soma, you can do that. It takes a lot, and you won't get as much damage out as if you were to just build for a normal, as if you were to just build for what the weapon was supposed to be built for, but you can still do it. It's not a terrible idea, and it really is just up to you. Like, however you want to build your frame, go for it. Or however you want to build whatever it is you're using, go for it. And... excuse me. But different enemies and different situations require you to do or have different things. Like, I'm just gonna leave this relay real quick. I hope you don't mind the loading screens, but it gives me time to think about what I'm trying to say. Excuse me. Unfortunately, the one thing I will say about all my Prime weapons currently, all of the ones that I'm currently using, all of the Prime weapons, the Soma Prime, the Vasta Prime, and the Sindo Prime, are currently in the Prime Vault, meaning you can't get them very easily. The relics that you get them from, which is how you get Prime parts, every Prime part is in a relic, which there's 4 different types of them, and a laundry list underneath each different type. But basically all you need to know is the different names dictate how hard the mission is going to be. Lith, Meso, Neo, and Axii dictate what the level of the mission is going to be. But each different relic has a predetermined drop table. So, like, from this S4 relic, you can get the Paris Prime, the Lex Prime, a Forma, which is pretty important, a special collar for one of your pets, a piece of Trinity, or a piece of Saren Prime. But different weapons, or some of the older weapons, are in the vault. Some of the older Primes are in the vault. The way it works is every time they introduce a new Prime Warframe, which one is coming out on the 29th of August, which is like 4 days from right now. Each different, or each time a new Warframe bundle, a new Prime Warframe bundle is introduced, because every Warframe launches with the Prime Warframe and 2 Prime weapons. The oldest currently available Warframe will be put into the vault, where you can no longer... The relics, or their pieces will be removed from relics, but... no, how do I want to word this? The relics that drop their pieces will be removed from any normal drop table, but if you were to have... Let's say Saren Prime is going into the vault. She's not anytime soon, but if Saren Prime were to go into the vault, I'd be able to keep all of the Saren Prime relics that I currently have. Any relic that I would own at the time that Saren Prime would go into the vault, I'd keep, but I just couldn't get those relics anymore, is how I'll word it. But that's neither here nor there. To get relics, or to get Prime pieces, you just go through relic missions, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to run through a normal mission. exterminate mission, just to give you like just to show you the one part that I didn't talk about in Simulacrum, where like this game is all about mobility and like just competent gunplay and abilities and melee attacks. I didn't show it off because I kind of forgot about it, but this game really does. You're not gonna find cover to use in this game. All you're gonna find is that you're super fast and can outrun everybody. But like in the tutorial mission, they teach you how to run, how to sprint, or they teach you how to sprint, how to slide, and how to like this. I don't know where you'd ever actually use this, but you can do it. And double jump. You can also double jump. And like wall ride and whatever you want to call it. Basically every kind of parkour thing that you could possibly imagine. But what they don't tell you is that you can link it all together. I'll show it off here after I just gun down these two. You can link your sprinting, your jumping, your sliding all together to create and move through a world that just like, or move through an environment. Whatever environment you might find yourself in. Like if you're sprinting, and then you hit the slide button, or crouch button, you'll go into the slide. If you jump while sliding, you'll do this, which is called a bullet jump, and it allows you to go much further than anything else, or than just like sprinting and jumping combined. You just do a bullet jump, is what they call it. You just bullet jump around, and it's fantastic. It lets you get so much higher, so much farther, and so much faster than you would just by running or sprinting and jumping normally. Another thing you can do in midair, if you want to play an aerial frame, if you want to play midair, the air game, if you want to achieve aerial superiority, you can also do that. Just jump up into the air and aim, and then you'll go into an aim glide. And the thing about the aim glide, you lose a lot of downward momentum, but no forward momentum. You kind of float in midair, but you don't lose any mobility, or you don't lose any forward motion, or the ability to turn. Okay, you kind of lose the ability to turn in midair, but you get to keep your mobility, basically. It really feels, the game really does reward you for being as mobile as possible. I really don't need to shoot at these guys, but I'm doing it anyways. I can basically just kill them with spores and call it a day, but I'm just gonna kill them. But this is just a this mission not the greatest place to go run around in, because it's very much a limited, very cramped quarters inside. And that's another, I don't know if you'd call it a problem or not, but I'm gonna say it's a problem. A lot of the missions in this game, or every planet in this game, has a set amount, or draws from a set amount of tile sets for different areas that you'll find yourself in. Like, this planet is Jupiter. Like, this game takes place in the Milky Way galaxy, which they call the Origin System. In the Origin System, or not in the Origin, yeah, in the Origin System, the different planets have predetermined tile sets that you'll see a lot of. Jupiter, I think, has the most unique of them all. It's called the Corpus Gas Planet tile set, because Jupiter is the only gas planet that the Corpus occupy. But this environment is called the Gas Planet tile set. This is the only place you'll see the Corpus on a gas planet, and all of the tile set, or all of the different areas inside this tile set, or inside this how do I want to word this? Basically, you'll see a lot of the same rooms in the missions that you run through. But usually never in the same order, because all of them are procedurally generated from the same tile set. So, any planet uses, or pretty much every planet uses one or two different types of tile sets that's unique to that planet. But you'll never see, like, a completely new room after you've gone through it enough. Like, you'll see the same rooms, but never in the same configuration, is where I'll go. Is how I'll word this. Unless you do Hayricon, in which case you see every room that Hayricon has to offer, because there's only like 7 that Hayricon actually uses. Over and over and over again. But this has been an extermination mission. All you need to do is run around, kill the people, kill a set amount of people, and then leave. I would have done something a little more intensive, like a spy mission, but I didn't feel like doing that today. I just want to go murder people right now. But yeah, that's a mission. This game is entirely based on missions. It's just you do a mission, you go do another one, you go do another one until you have what you need to build what you're after, or until you're bored. It doesn't really nurture exploration, but there are little items that you can find. There's one item in almost every mission that you can go find. I think they have to be in Grineer missions specifically, but there's one item that you can go find in every mission. They're always in the same spot. But there's only one unique collectible that you can go find in every mission. And they're not really worth it. They just give you a little bit of backstory, but I'm not really playing this game for its story, but it does have a good one. It does have a good one. But as you go through missions, you earn, as you go through missions and you kill people and you do basically anything in this game, you earn experience for whatever weapon you're using. Like this Vapor Heck that I have, it's level 0. I'm not going to use it because I want to give it to one of my friends. Or this Opticore that I have, that's level 22, this Vapor Heck 0. If I were to use the Opticore in a mission, it would gain experience. And as it levels up, or as it gains experience, obviously it levels up. But the levels in this game, on your weapons and your Warframes and your companions and whatever you might have a level, determines how many mods that you can put into a weapon. Which, like I said earlier, the modding system in this game, incredibly robust. The mods in this game make this game. The way you're able to build anything in this game for any way that you want is astounding. It is very, very daunting for new players, but once you get a grip on it, it all makes sense. But yeah, as you level up weapons, I also have a new weapon that I say new, quote unquote. I've had this one and this one once before. I've had the Pandaro and the Twin Ragas before, but I made them again because I wanted them. But as you use weapons or Warframes or anything really, as you level it up, as you use it, it levels up, and then it lets you use mods in it. The level of the weapon dictates how many mods it should have. There are special items that you can get, Orokin Catalysts and Orokin Reactors, that you can get that'll double the mod polarity double the mod slots that you have available, or the mod energy that you have available on any singular weapon. I've already put a catalyst in this Opticore because I love the Opticore. It is a BFG, or a Spartan Laser. It's fantastic. It is one of my favorite guns in this entire game. But it's just you just walk into an area, you charge it up, you fire off, everybody dies, and that's how it goes. But you can build anything to do anything that you want it for. For Warframes, more so than other weapons, you can build any Warframe to do any task you want. But if you're trying to build Loki to tank better than Chroma, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Loki will never be tankier than Chroma, no matter what you do, because Chroma gets tanky off of the damage that he takes, whereas Loki is a stealth frame. Loki doesn't have armor. Loki doesn't want to get shot. Loki wants to hang out in the shadows and stab people from stealth. Chroma is a dragon. Chroma wants to fight people and is like, hey, fight me, I'm going to kill you, and that kind of up-in-your-face kind of mentality. But every Warframe in this game, like I said earlier, has a predetermined, or has not a predetermined, but an intended use. But you don't have to use it for that. Like, this guy here, Oberon. I love Oberon. Oberon's one of my favorite Warframes. He's not very good, but I love him to death. You can build Oberon to do anything. Oberon is one of the most versatile Warframes in this game. He's got decent armor, decent energy, a decent health pool, and all of his abilities just lend themselves, each different ability lend itself to a different play game, or a different play style. My Oberon build is kind of like a pseudo-tank. I have him built to be able to heal pretty well and take a ton of damage. And if he does take damage, he gets health back through rage. But you can build any Warframe, any weapon, anything through the use of mods. The mod list is extensive. You don't need to see any of these, but just know that all of these gold mods have a pretty rare drop chance. And these silver mods, I just have a ton of mods. There's just a giant amount of them. I have so many duplicates, it's ridiculous, of so many mods. It is almost scary how many mods I have. I didn't realize until just now how many mods I have. But like I said, the modding system in this game is, at the start, very daunting. Because it's like, holy shit, what am I supposed to build this for? What do all these do? What's Prime Pistol Gambit? What's Accelerated Blast do? You just need to read it. You just need to read it and hope to God you get lucky enough that it drops. And it... it's very much up to your imagination to build however you want to build whatever you're building. Like, Oberon, not exactly meant to tank. I've built him to be able to do it pretty well. But Oberon, the little tagline for Oberon is like, oh, he embodies the balance that all Tenor are supposed to uphold, or something like that. I don't remember the exact description, but I like Oberon. Yeah, equally adept at healing friends or striking down the enemy. Oberon embodies the balance Tenor sworn to uphold. So yeah, that's Oberon. You can build him to do anything. Same like Octavia. You can build Octavia to be a support, or a damage dealer, or a tank. You can build anything to do anything. And it's fantastic, and I love that idea. Like I said, it is very daunting for new players, but you just need to get into the thick of it to understand. You just need to, like, as you play the game, you start getting an understanding of how everything should work. And it's really, really solid. This game is a grind, but it's well worth it. Because this links me nicely into what I was going, or like leads me nicely into my last point here. I just have like all my notes here in front of me. But the thing that I appreciate and respect the most about Digital Extremes, which is the people who made Warframe and another game, and it's like its predecessor called Dark Sector. That's what it was. Yeah, Dark Sector. Digital Extremes, the development team for Warframe, have a very, very, very solid free-to-play model. Everything that I have in this game, except for these cosmetics, like this shoulder plate and this cape. I also have some other things on, like this cape. I can't really see them. Or like these boots. Or all of this, like, basically all the cosmetics that I have, everything, like, I paid for those. I paid for those with the premium currency, which is this stuff called Platinum. But everything else in this game, hell, even the Platinum itself, can be earned free of charge. Everything in this game can be free, except for cosmetics. The only cosmetics that you might be able to get the only cosmetics that you can get for free are different helmets, like, this is my Frost. I have one free Frost helmet. I went to go get it. It just gives him a turbine in his head, and I love it. It's a goofy looking helmet. He also has this one that you can go get for free, but I don't like it nearly as much. But you have a lot of stuff that you can buy with real dollars. But everything in this game, even the Platinum itself, even the premium currency, can be earned for free. Like, going back to what I was saying about Prime bundles, this Oberon Prime Access, Oberon Prime was the most recent Prime Warframe introduced. You can buy the Oberon Prime Access bundle to get him on day one. Or, you can go grind, you can go play missions with those Void Relics I was talking about earlier, to go get Oberon Prime and everything else that he came out with for free. Oh wait, this takes me to a, never mind, you can't really see that, but clicking on the Oberon Prime Access took me to a screen that was like, hey, this has such and such, you can pay this amount of money or this amount of money. Like, you pay actual money for Oberon Prime Access, or for any Prime Access, not just Oberon Prime Access, but you can pay a certain amount of money. There's like 3 or 4 different tiers for the Prime Access bundle, but each tier beyond the first gets you even more stuff. Like, I think it's like $30 or $25 at the very most for just the Warframe and whatever comes out with the Warframe. Then you can spend more money to get like bonus amount of platinum and like a cape, and the last one is an exorbitant amount of platinum and a special cape or accessories that come with the Warframe. You don't need to pay a dime for it, though. You don't need to. You can get everything for free. Even, I was talking about those Orokin reactors and catalysts. You can pay for those. You can pay for catalysts and reactors, and hell, you can even pay for Orokin cells. You don't need to. You can get Orokin cells in any mission, as long as the planet that you're on can drop Orokin cells. Orokin catalysts and reactors, you can get one bi-weekly. They hand them out freely, or from invasion missions. There's not a reason to pay for anything in this game unless you are really impatient. Such as myself. I'm very impatient. There was an event a while ago where catalysts and reactors were only like a plat each, where normally they're 20 platinum each. So I bought like 5 or 6 of them, and I was just like, yeah, this is a great sale. I like this. But you don't need to pay for anything. You don't have to spend a dime on this game. They would like you to, because they incentivize you through daily login rewards. Every time you log in, or not every time, but every day that you log in, you get a login reward. And they give you milestones at like every 50 days or every 100 days or so. But every day in between, every time you log into the game, for me, the login resets at 9 p.m. But every new day, you get a new login reward. Sometimes, you'll get discounts on platinum, up to 75% off your next platinum purchase for 2 days, or all your platinum purchases for 2 days. Every platinum discount lasts for 2 days, and it ranges between 20% off to 75% off. And I think currently, let me see here real quick. I'm just gonna open this again. Get platinum real quick. Platinum store will open in your web browser. The most amount of platinum you can buy at any point in time is $200. 75% off $200. That's $50 for more platinum than you could probably ever spend. And it's fantastic. I've bought the $100 bundle twice now with a 75% platinum discount. It cost me $25. $25 for 2100 platinum. I think that's a great deal. As well as some special mods, I think is what I got. I don't remember exactly. But you don't need to spend a dime on this game if you do not want to, or you can't. They would like it if you would, but you do not. Absolutely, at no point in time do you need to spend money on this game. Everything can be gotten for free with in-game money, and even the premium currency can be traded for with prime pieces. Like if you have, let me see here real quick. Like, if you've got, let's say, you have an entire Loki Prime system, or an entire Loki Prime set. His helmet, his systems, and his chassis. You can sell that entire piece to someone looking to buy it on the trade chat. Like, which one are you? Trade chat. Yeah, trade chat, right there. You can find someone in trade chat looking to buy a Loki Prime set for a predetermined amount of platinum. And you can sell it to them. And you'll get platinum that way. Players can trade platinum in between each other. And it's fantastic. I really want to get Oberon Prime Helmet. That's the only thing that I'm missing, but I don't want to pay for it. And I also don't have a lot of relics to go get them. But, again, everything in this game, absolutely everything, except for the cosmetics, you can get for free. Fashion Frame, as they call it, is entirely endgame and for the rich. Or if you just want to spend money. I don't mean the rich. It's not specifically for the rich. But if you want to spend money on this game, Fashion Frame will get you a lot. Or you'll have a lot of fun with Fashion Frame if you want to spend a lot of money on this game. I didn't really, but I can't justify not spending it I can't justify not spending money on it when I get a 75% deal off of $100. Like, I can't justify not spending $25 on the game. That'll get me more money than I'll possibly ever use. Or more, like, premium currency than I'll possibly ever use. Excuse me. But yeah, that's my piece on Warframe. A lot smarter men than I have written much more entertaining, informative, and, like, just intelligent pieces about this game. But that's my take on it. I adore this game. I absolutely adore this game for both its gameplay and its business model. It is a fantastic game, but it really is a grind fest. If you do not like grinding, you will not like Warframe. But everything else about it is absolutely fantastic, and it only gets better with each new update. I'm really looking forward to the Plains of Eidolon expansion, which is set to launch sometime in September, and I cannot wait for that. I am super excited for that. I'll be playing this game even more when that comes out, and like I said, I already have 1,000 hours in this game. I'm definitely going to put 1,000 more into it. It's so friggin' good. But I'm going to go. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble for like a friggin' hour. I don't know how long I've been at this for, but I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble for like an hour. I'm going to go. Hope you all enjoyed this episode nearly as much as I did. And I'll see you all next week. Bye, everybody. It's been a lot of fun.